Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and our continuing series where I review every single Capcom CPS, CP System Dash, CPS2, and CPS3 game ever made. Today we're taking a look at X-Men, Children of the Atom. This is the original crossover game from Capcom. They had the license to Marvel and X-Men, but they did include a little bit of a Street Fighter character in there as well as a hidden option, so technically it's a crossover even if you wouldn't believe it. But right here at the character selection screen, since this is the first game featuring any of the Marvel or the X-Men characters, obviously we're going to have a pretty thin roster. We'll see if we get manual or automatic there, and that's for blocking. But if you do pick automatic, some elements of the game are missing, but every once in a while I do put it on auto for the blocking to get a little bit better gameplay footage, because I will say I'm not that into X-Men Children of the Atom, and I think it's all down to the fact that these characters move really slow for feeling like they're moving pretty fast. I don't know why I feel that way about this game, but the best equivalent I can say is I feel like the characters are almost moving underwater. They've got a weight and a momentum to them that doesn't feel natural to me and feels really unlike any of the games that come after this, any of the Darkstalkers games or the Street Fighter games on the CPS2. There's just something about the way the characters move that feels unnatural and I can never particularly click with. And you'll see here playing on normal difficulty in the first round, I completely took a loss there and did not play very well whatsoever. But moving on here, I am picking auto just to show you guys a little bit more. And this isn't a bad game at all. I love the look of it. I love the concept it's going for. There's just something about that character movement that always throws me off. And leave me a comment below if you feel the same way or you feel completely differently. There's something about the weightiness that just doesn't click. And I'm not sure what that is because it doesn't feel like any other Capcom game. And maybe it's just the fact that I haven't played this a ton. I remember it coming out in arcades. I played it a few times. I wasn't into it. And I really haven't come back much since then. You will see that I was able to pull off a special finish move, and those are all really visually interesting. Getting the button inputs isn't what's difficult. Pulling off different combos I don't find to be any bit of an issue, but now we're basically really are underwater, and it really does feel like these characters just move in a strange way. You'll see when I jump up and down there, the amount of time you're in the air feels very unnatural, and I get it that it's a fighting game and that physics aren't exactly the same as they are in the real world, but these physics feel so completely different as to really make it hard for me to understand how I'm supposed to be playing the game. And like I said, this isn't a bad game, and I'm sure if you're into it, you're really into it, because I know a lot of people love this game. For me, it's just never clicked, though, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, there's so many fighting games on the CPS2, and so many fighting games featuring characters from Marvel and X-Men. It's not like you have to absolutely love every single game. It's just, to me, maybe it's just because this is where Capcom started. This is the first game where they were using licensed characters and trying to do something different that wasn't a Street Fighter feel, so it may just be that this is one of those situations where they weren't quite 100% sure of how they wanted it to feel yet. Now, the unfortunate part is playing this game today is a real pain because it's never really available on any modern platform, and I doubt it ever will be due to licensing issues with Marvel and X-Men, because those are such huge movie properties now. I am playing this on the Mr. FPGA Hotego cores, and I have the ROM on my CPS2 Darksoft Multi. I don't own an original B board for it, and I'll probably never buy one. But honestly, emulation or original hardware is kind of the only way to go with this one. It did come out on the Sega Saturn, and that's a competent port, although it isn't arcade perfect, and the PlayStation version sacrificed a lot of things visually, so I really wouldn't recommend that one particularly either. So this is one of those instances. I would emulate this if you want to check it out, because it's going to be as close to arcade perfect as you can get without owning an original CPS2 setup with a multi or a B board and the Super Gun like I have in my collection. But honestly, if you just want to not play this game and play X-Men versus Street Fighter or Marvel versus Capcom or Marvel versus Street Fighter, there's plenty of other games out there that do have more modern variants of them that you can definitely 100% play. But I will say, even if I can't click with the gameplay style, I definitely love the soundtrack, so give that a listen for like 45 seconds and I'll be back and talk more about why I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. Enjoy! I just absolutely love that stage with the ice that breaks off and you end up going into the ocean. And again, here we have another incredible looking stage. Visually, this game is spectacular, but pretty much all of the Capcom CPS2 games are visually spectacular. And you'll see we fell through the floor here, and we're going to do that again. And I really love how this game deals with the multiple stages. It's one of the first times in 2D fighting games you really see that you're able to break through the floor or the environment and go someplace else. And now we have this gigantic head in the background. Now, this does bring in a lot of elements from the X-Men story franchise. I just don't know much about them because, honestly, I'm not the biggest superhero fan. I don't watch a lot of the movies, and I definitely didn't read the comic books. So you probably know more about what's going on here than I do as far as the visuals are concerned. I just know I really like looking at them. But yeah, that's just the thing about X-Men Children of the Atom. I've never clicked with it, and it's just all down to how heavy the game feels. Maybe people really like that. I mean, I get it. I enjoy things like Samurai Shodown 64 on the Hyper Neo Geo, and that game has a lot of weightiness and heaviness to it, but I feel like in that weapon combat 3D realm, that makes more sense. But when it comes to 2D fighting games, I like them to move just a little bit faster and to feel less floaty, and that's not something that I get with X-Men Children of the Atom. But honestly, we got a lot of really fast-paced 2D fighting games coming up on the CPS3, because all that board has for it is fighting games, so we're going to be talking a lot more about fighters. And honestly, even though I love the genre, I'm even getting a little bit stretched with these commentaries trying to figure out exactly how to delineate them all. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. And like I said, leave me a comment down below. Tell me about your experiences with X-Men Children of the Atom. When did you encounter the game? Are you into it? Do you feel the same way about the weightiness that I do? Do you think that that's completely not a fair critique of the game? Short of that, I will have videos on Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday as well. And I'll be back next Wednesday and we'll keep reviewing the Capcom CPS stuff. And when I run out of that, I will pick another arcade platform to do a full comprehensive review on, because you guys have been loving these videos and I love making them. Short of that, that is X-Men Children of the Atom. I suck at it, but I still kind of like it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.